Joel, you Bisaya reader, welcome back to another video, and for today I am going to recommend some of the best middle grade books that I think you guys need to check out or need to read as soon as possible if you haven't read them. For me, I'm going to recommend these books because personally these are my favorite middle grade books and I really did enjoy reading this. And yeah, in times like this, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we need to at least find some reasons to enjoy and be entertained and get some positive vibes. And yeah, books can definitely do that. And very light-hearted, very fun, and very entertaining is probably the books under the middle grade categories. That's the reason why I'm doing this video, because I just need to spread some positivities. So without further ado, these are the middle grade books that I highly recommend you guys checking if you haven't read them. By the way, before we proceed, I just need to clear out, when it comes to categories, it's different to genres. Genres are basically, we're talking about fantasy, science fiction, historical fiction. When it comes to categories, these are the age bracket of the target reader audience. I mean, these categories refer to age, like young adult, middle grade, Nona, yes. Nona, right. So, yeah. The first middle grade book that I recommend you guys need to check is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. There are only 2 books so far in the series. It's still an ongoing series. I think the 3rd installment on the series will come out later this year. The second book is Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow, Trials of Morgan Crow is the first one, Nevermore. Many of the people who have read this or been, if you've heard this, I'm pretty sure that you heard them recommend this, because if you do love Harry Potter, you need to check this one out, which I disagree. Because after reading this one, this is really completely different from Harry Potter. Harry Potter is on another level. It's a legendary series that everyone knows and everyone really loves. And yeah, this one is kind of different. It is unique. There are some elements that I kind of see why people recommend this if you love Harry Potter, because there are some elements that are really the same or similar to Harry Potter. But aside from that, the story, the plot, and everything that is in this book, the characters, writing style is completely different, completely new. It's not something that you haven't heard before, but definitely something that will make you laugh, give you that magical feel, and will really entertain you. For the synopsis of this, we do have the main character named Morgan Crow. She's a cursed child in this world. She is tagged as a cursed child. Whatever she do, whether she's doing something or not, something really bad is happening around her, regards to city, families. That means people really hate her because she's like a bad omen. So one night, someone tried to kill her, and then out of nowhere, someone tried to save her and brought her to this another parallel universe. And yeah, there she discovered that she possessed some magical skills, and yeah, that's it. So basically, this is really magical, really entertaining. There's a set of characters, new creatures that will really entertain you. There's big cats, there's flying umbrellas, there's some magical competitions, there's a school setting. You need to check this one out. The next book I have recommend you guys reading under the middle grade category is going to be my all-time favorite from this author, Brandon Mull. This is the Fablehaven series. First book is Fablehaven, and the second book is the Fablehaven Rise of the Evening Star. Third is Grip of the Shadow Plague, Secrets of Dragon Sanctuary, Fablehaven, the finale is Demon Prison. Guys, if you haven't read this one, I just need you to imagine. You need to read Percy Jackson meets Spiderwick meets what else? Harry Potter, I think. Some elements of Harry Potter. This is really magical. I'd say something to do with It is really similar to Percy Jackson because of the magical creatures. Like there's some inspiration from Greek mythologies. Also, not just Greek mythologies. If you're a big fan of Rick Riordan, you need to check this one out because the references that the author did on the series is not just the Greek mythologies. He also referenced Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, and it's all over the place, guys. But it's all over the place in a good way because it really made sense. It maybe everything made into this bigger picture where you can really enjoy. It will definitely entertain you. It's really magical. Aside from these magical creatures, there's a lot of magic system. It's really cool. You get to follow really funny and full of personality characters, and the story itself and the plot was not very middle grade. I can definitely see adult and young adult enjoy reading this, and yeah. In this first book, we follow two main characters. We have Seth and Kendra. These are brothers and sisters. Their parents are going into a vacation, and then nobody's going to watch for them. So their parents decided to leave them to their grandparents' farm, and then in which they discovered once they're in the farm that this farm, their grandparents are actually watchkeepers or gatekeepers to this magical world, where they're trying to look for or take care. They're basically take the caretakers of magical creatures, and they accidentally found out, and things got really messy and really interesting. They is set in a farm where there's a talking cow, there's a running goat, fairies, all of the magical creatures, dragons, wizards, everything. It's all over the place. It's kind of messy, but it's really entertaining. There's a trope in there. There's one trope in here that for me, if I'm going to read this, will be very outdated, but the moment I read this a few years ago, way back in 2011 or 2012, I'm not really sure, it was really okay for me. The trope I'm referring to is that the two main characters, Seth and Kendra, the older sister is basically the good character. Seth, the younger brother, is the character that always, make bad things happen in the story. So he's always the one who's get into trouble. And then the trope comes in where the older sister tries to fix the trouble that her younger brother get into. So that's the kind of trope that for me is not dated, if you're going to read this, but still, it's a really magical ride. This one was an okay introduction, or an okay start to the series, but things really get into really, really interesting. There's hydras, there's centaurs, and there's frogs. They get into these dragon sanctuary, they ride dragons, they battle against mummies. It's really magical, guys, so you need to check that one out. And yeah, the last middle grade series I'm going to recommend to you guys also, if you want to get away from what things that are happening right now in this world. Just have to make sure that you also check The Novice by Taran Matharu. The second book is The Inquisition. I have read the third book, which is The Battle Mage. I don't have a physical copy yet. I've read that on an audiobook a couple of years ago. Guys, this is really underrated. I'm really shocked nobody's really talking about this one. This is a middle grade book where if you're a big fan of Digimon, Pokemon, and Harry Potter, you can definitely enjoy this. There's a skull system. That's why I can say it sounds like Harry Potter. There's a skull setting in the story where there's a teacher and then there's students being taught how to use their powers. One thing is really outstanding about the series is that aside from them having magical powers, they do also have the capabilities. We call them the Summoner series, by the way. because our characters are summoners. They have this ability to summon demon. One character, one demon, and this demon is basically their companion. And how strong they are as an individual depends on the demon that they can summon. So the stronger the demon you can summon, the stronger you are, the stronger the demon you can summon, and then the more difficult you are to your the more difficult you are, the more powerful you are against your enemies. And basically, the demons that they are summoning are actually evolving. So it's like Pokemon. The more they fight, the more they do adventures. These demons also gain some experience and level into something stronger, and then they evolve into something that would definitely blow your mind. There's a different kinds of race also. It's like a kids version of Lord of the Rings, by the way, because there are some orc race, elves, humans, dwarves, and it's just all over the place also. But the inspiration is there. You can see that the author found inspiration from Lord of the Rings, from Harry Potter, and from Pokemon, because it really did make sense if you are really familiar with those things that I mentioned, because it was there. It was there in the story. It was really, you can't really just not what's the term? You can't really not see what's really happening. You can really avoid this term. You can really avoid comparing it to those references that I mentioned, especially in the summoning type and the way these demons that they're summoning try to level and evolve into something a stronger character. And with regards to the what you call this one, the story there's an adventure. Aside from its action packed, there's also an adventure, and the story, the characters are really great. The complexities of the characters' personalities, and how these personalities and where they're coming from affects their decisions and their motivations, how their motivations as a character affects the entire story and affects the plot. It's really interesting. So you need to check this one out. Novice was a great start, but I think the best of the three is going to be the Inquisition. There's something about the Inquisition that really stood out for me, and it's just a story that will stick in your heart, in your soul for the rest of your life. There's a lot of unforgettable stuff that happened in the second book. It definitely did not suffer the middle book syndrome. So yeah, I do have some issues with the finale, which is the Battle Mage. It wasn't the perfect book. I do have some issues with it. I gave it only 3 stars, I think. I was really disappointed by that, but again, it is what it is. It was published already, but yeah, book 1 and book 2 was epic. Just have to, as a fan, you can't stop yourself. Just forgive the author what he did in the finale, but it was still a great series. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and it's me again, Jolly, the Desire Reader. If you like this video, please click on the like button, subscribe, and leave some comments below. Hope everything's fine in your end, and take care.